Right, let's have a look at my stars. Let's have a look at settings. Overview, blah, blah, global, blah, 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 blah. Right, I don't know quite what you guys want to see, so let's try lobby. Zoom in for you. No, you guys are going to want to see table appearance first, right? I think all the themes are fairly standard, and then you have to turn off table graphics for stars to work. Gameplay, that's the one you guys want to see, right? So gameplay, mock losing hand, don't show winning hand, that's what I have ticked. Bet sliders, here you go, you guys might want to see this. So bet sliders for me, I have 2.2, 2.5, 8.5, and 11. 8.5 being my 3-bet sizing in position, 11 being my 3-bet sizing out of position. That does slightly change. I use Starshelper for that more these days. Bet size is post flop. The 2.5 and 2.2 are not that important. 2.5 is my ISO size. 2.2 I don't usually use anymore, but I used to use that on the button sometimes, but I just use 2.5 now. Post flop, I use 33, 75, 125. I could probably, to be honest, if I was going to do this again, I would make it 23, 33, 75, and 125, and I would get rid of max because that's just easy to drag across the bar. But if you want to copy those sizes, there they are. Run it twice, I have ticked always. That's just loads variance. Some people get a bit confused because it's very easy to think, oh, if you win the first board, it's much harder to win the second board. That's true, but it also works in reverse. If you lose the first board, it's much easier. So it always worked out to be the same. So it is always just going to be lower variance. All in cash out disabled, so it doesn't even ask me anymore. Player notes, I don't need that. Hotkeys, don't use hotkeys. Multi-tabling, I don't know what any of that means. Advanced, yeah, I just have it, yeah, all preset stuff. And then someone's asking about the buy-in and rebuy, so auto buy-in, it doesn't, auto rebuy I think is more important. So some people get confused between auto buy-in and auto rebuy in cash games. So auto rebuy, if a 400 bigs ticked, and then it tops me up to 100 bigs every time, which is fairly standard at 100 zoom anyway. And then playing history, that's just for whatever Starshelper. All the rest is pretty default, I think. Right, so we're done with that. And then we got Starshelper. Right, so I'll go through this individually. So this is just the main screen. You don't have to worry about any of this. This tells you the basics to get Starshelper working in terms of thank you for the follows. You need to have the dealer chat show everything. You need it in English. I think one of the things you have to do now is turn off the Aura engine, which will tell you how to do. Thank you for tuning in. We're just going through Starshelper very quickly. This will be cut into a video as well. I've never used the profile settings, but if you want to have different profiles and change your settings, you can. All this stuff is pretty standard. Here it says, I'll zoom in so you can see it a bit better. Here it says enable chips to BB. I don't do that anymore because you guys prefer to see it in cache. A lot of these settings you can do in stars now, like enable chips to BB you can just do automatically in stars anyway. You can do other stuff. At the bottom here you can see it says auto sit out next big blind and next hand when you get to like I'll zoom out for you, table 2, table 3 even. Alright, so you can see at the top there it says auto sit out next hand if your stack is greater than 110 big blinds. So for example, if you want a rat hole, you can click auto sit out next big blind. So you tick this and then put over say 110 big blinds. So then every time your stack goes above 110 big blinds, you set next big blind, and then you sit out and you can jump back in. Auto bet sizing. So this one you guys are probably going to want to see. So table 1 again. So again, ignore all this stuff, and then we'll scroll up. So these are all my bet sizes that I have preset. These are a little bit complicated, so feel free if this is going to be a video to pause it and have a look. So min raised preflop, pretty standard, and then basically you need to figure out what the size of the pot's going to be. So obviously the pot preflop is always going to be 1.5. So when the pot is equal to 1.5, I'm min raising, and that's for all positions. And then I accept the button and the small blind. So on the button I make it 2.5, so that's why it says 2.5. And again, when the pot is equal to 1.5 big blinds, that's where you don't get it confused when he wants to 3-bet and all that kind of stuff. And then small blind 2.75 is my open size, and then big blind you can see there. Big blind when the pot equals 2 big blinds. So that's when the small blind is limped. My ISO size is to 3.5. So I won't go through all of these in that much detail, but I will just scroll down slowly so you can have a look. So raise plus 14 all positions when the pot is greater than 9.5. That's my 4-bet sizing. So my 4-bet sizing is generally always plus 14 big blinds. raising to 13 big blinds. Again, this is going to be a 3-bet sizing from the small and big blind when the pot is greater than so big. And then what the next one, all they do then is put 3-bet sizes in based on how big the pot is. So incrementally bigger from the small blind and the same size always in the big blind. That's just my strategy. You don't have to do that. You can mess around with that. So these are all the blinds, and then you've got c-bet sizes standard. I'll zoom down for that. So you can see here at the bottom. I'll zoom up. I'll move that down a bit. At the bottom here, I've got my standard flop c-bet size is 33. Standard turn c-bet size 70/70. Obviously, these are my bet sliders to change those if I want to. So that's everything I do in terms of sizing, table placing. I'll zoom out a bit. So you can have different profiles for this. I have 3 screens, which is why you can see display, display 1, unknown display, and display 3. It may get a bit weird if you've got 2 screens plugged in. Mine gets a bit weird because I've got 3, but I know that it's I just have them all. If you can see the different profiles here, I just have my 4 screens set up on each profile. I just click between the ones to make sure I get the right one. We'll go back and read the questions afterwards and just kind of talking at the screen. So this is easy for me because this is good for me because I just for streaming because I just know where the tables are going to be regardless, and that's just very, very easy. And you can just test that obviously just opening tables. And then a few of you guys are asking about the bet box and the HUD. So the bet box I've got here on the HUD setting, that's just a 23% sizing bet. So you can go through these settings and you can add in a bet. Oh, sorry, I'm misspeaking here. Bet box is sometimes if you have it in big blinds, this is less of a thing now because you can do this with stars, but bet boxes allow you to type in big blinds as opposed to dollar amounts. History, this is the one you guys are always asking me on the videos, which is the one where it comes up with the just a little line of code which is like raise or check call and sizes and all that kind of stuff. I quite like this because sometimes when I forget what the actions happened, this tells me everything from like what the action was to what the sizing was, and obviously I read into sizes quite a bit as well, so that's really important for me. RNG, this is the one I use on the table, which is just literally a random number between 1 and 100. If I click it, it changes, and it changes every hand. Pot odds, again, this is something that I don't really use, but this is on the table as well if you guys want to add pot odds. And buttons, this is my 23% sizing, so you can add a few buttons if you want to have like loads and loads of different sizing. This is all completely up to you. Frames, I don't use. Auto profile, I don't use. Blah, 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 blah. I don't use any of the other stuff. Preferred seat you can do on stars, and then the other stuff is just going to be log. So that's everything I use it for. There's a few more little things that I imagine I don't know about, and you can mess around with it and use it as well. If you have any other questions, I'm going to just go through the chat now and read it all, and then I'll be back. I'm going to go watch football, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. All the best.